you came from a background where you didn't have a lot of money, but you were in an extremely wealthy area. So it's like you wanted more for yourself and you saw all this abundance around you, but you didn't quite have that in your own life. Was that something that genuinely gave you a real good kick to get started and push forward? Or
here's the thing, I don't think it's necessarily gave me a kick or gave me motivation, it just normalized it. And I think that's the biggest thing with people. It's not that they're not doing the things to receive wealth. It's that they're generally not, if they had wealth come to them, they would repel it because they don't feel deserving of it. Right. And I think it's because basically the big advantage that I had, as I said, I had a funny situation where, my mom, married my stepdad. And, it was a funny situation where I was going to private school, but then that's basically all my stepdad did for us. And then he got some tax benefits and what yada, yada, whole story there. But I would come home and, even like the last 4 years I was in my house, we had no warm water, no heating because he wouldn't pay for it. And then when he found out I was starting a business, he cut off the Wi-Fi. And that's actually why even to this day, I'm still, 3?
Yeah. But I'm on 3 too. And I watched you say that. I watched you say this in another podcast as well, like about only roadmen have 3.
Yeah, like three doesn't exactly have the best coverage, right? It's definitely not the most ideal, but they had some pretty decent plans, and that's why it's because they had back in 2015 they had a hotspot plan where you had a limited hotspot for like £25 a month. So that's basically how I built my business. So as I said, I had this weird the juxtaposition of like not having any money and me and my mom being on government benefits. We bounced between that, or she was working at Harrods, temporary job, or Chelsea Westminster Hospital. So it was a very weird childhood because I said I had that drive and the fire inside me, but then I also had a lot of wealth around me. And I think people think, oh, the wealth was what motivated me. No, not at all. It's the wealth normalized it, because people have this idea about wealthy people that
there's a gap between it.
Yeah, most people think that wealthy people are very smart. I mean, yes, to a point, but it's not necessarily they're very smart. It's just like, look, I'll be honest, you see some pretty stupid people who end up being ridiculously rich, and you almost sit there and you ask yourself and you wonder why. And a lot of times it's just because they're feel deserving of it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Right. So as I said, growing up, I would never look at a sports car. I would never look at the wealthy things around and think, oh, I'm not deserving of it. I'm like, yeah, that'll be my reality very soon. And it's just, all I need is a bit of time. So I think that's the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest disadvantage that, we were even talking about certain middle-class families.
Yeah.
It's this weird purgatory where like you have enough that you don't have any, fire under your ass, but it's also, you don't have anything to really
to gauge against.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Whereas at least, when you come from a lower income household, at least you actually have that like fire, that spark.